What's up, you squares? I'm your boy Lucky XL, and this is another episode of Survival of the Fittest. Hey, this has been a long time coming, so I'm gonna start this out to no further ado, but I have to break this down for y'all so y'all can understand why this moment today is special, right? So we talking about Andy Sunflower Cafe, right? She started off as a mobile coffee cart. Andy is a Goldman Sachs 10K Small Business Entrepreneur Program graduate, right? Andy also is currently being nominated for the Best Barista by Chicago Reader, right? The voting is still open right now until January the 24th, right? So if y'all want to go vote for her, Andy Sunflower Cafe being the Best Barista nominated by Chicago Reader, y'all can do that to January the 24th, 2024. Right? January 24, 2024. And this is Andy Sunflower Cafe is one of our guests. But also next to her, as y'all can see, they're a couple, power couple. Next to her is her husband, who was a standout football player at Aurora University, right? He's an IT specialist, also a successful entrepreneur in his own right with a company called Digital Sergami. Hey, check this out, though. But he's also a distinguished member of the fraternity Alpha Phi Alpha. That's my boy. That's Andy and Mike Robinson. Hey, welcome to the show, guys.
How y'all doing? It's a pleasure.
Hello, everybody.
Man, was I rambling on? Was that a little too much for y'all? Did I?
Absolutely not.
I
That
like
was a
it.
nice intro. I like it.
Okay. So,
You did great.
hey, so if you anything like me, I'd have had 2 cups of coffee this morning. How do y'all roll out to bed with y'all coffee intake?
Oh, I start every morning with an Americano misto.
Ooh.
And that includes 4 shots of espresso.
Ooh.
Iced. I'm an iced coffee
You don't
drinker.
play.
I get it all in the morning.
So 4 shots straight? Is you putting the
4 shots over ice with a little cold foam on top. 20-ounce cup. 4 shots.
20-ounce cup?
Yes.
And they get you feeling like what? You feeling like an athlete. You ready to shake, rattle, and roll. Huh?
I try to get as much as I can in the morning because I'm a busy girl. So
I bet you
I got to
are,
stay
too.
up.
What about you, Mike?
I'm on the hot side. I'm not an iced coffee person, so mine is a hot latte or an Americano, depending on how much milk I want. But it's about 3 to 4 shots.
Yes.
Yeah. It's dealer's choice.
Minimum 3 shots.
I just be like, make me whatever you
Sometimes
make
he don't even know what he's drinking,
Right.
honestly.
I just be like, make it for me.
That got to be an advantage and a
Oh, it's a
privilege to
huge
have.
advantage. It's love.
I know.
I ain't got to
right.
pay for coffee.
Whew.
I'm
If I
insulted when
charged
I'm out of
him,
town
I would
and
be
I got to pay
rich.
for coffee. I'm insulted.
Because it is expensive right now.
It's just not
It's
quality. It's
not.
when you get used to quality
What she
product.
say?
It's not expensive.
It's just when you get used to what you realize how there's some bad coffee out here, and
It
you don't
is,
know
it
it
is.
until you get good coffee, and then you go somewhere and you're like, this is hot garbage.
It's almost
not high.
Hot garbage.
right there. I almost wanted to do a drop and tell them where to go get that Andy Sunflower.
Well,
But
do
when
a
you talking
drop
about
it.
some good coffee,
Gotta go.
go and do that drop one time right there, Andy, for you. Tell them where they can go get that.
You can
good
find
coffee.
me. I move around the city. My mobile coffee carts move around the city. I'm hired in different places, but directly you can get me inside of Ancient Sweet Cafe, 9920 Southwestern Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also in the West Loop at Taste 222. That's 222 North Canal Street.
And see, generally we wait, but I had to just bring it because he opened up the door. Where can you get good coffee? Because there's a separation between good and bad. But we're going to say, right, 42% of all U.S. businesses are owned by women. So what 42% of that connects to Andy Sunflower Cafe? So who are you in connection to the 42% of American businesses are women?
Who am I?
Yes.
I
Who's
am
Andy Sunflower.
A small but mighty specialty coffee shop. And I can make your palate. I can please your palate with coffee.
So how did that come about?
I actually started at home. It was inevitable that I did what I'm doing currently, being encouraged by my friends and family. I did it at home for about 10 years prior to opening up my business. And I'm still growing. I'm still learning. So yeah, I'm part of that 42%. Proud.
Why coffee?
I don't know. Coffee honestly found me. I love a challenge. And honestly, when I first started making coffee at home, I did not know how to make it. I literally had a spiral notebook in my drawer in the kitchen, and I used to play with a brand out of a grocery store to try to make it taste good every day until I learned, because it was
So
not
what is
good.
it, that Folgers or that?
It was a brand. I ain't gonna plug nobody. It was a brand. I don't know, whatever I got a hold to.
And when was this?
That was in 2005, 2006. So yeah, it's been a minute.
Okay, so take us through the process of discovering the love of coffee. So you sitting there.
And it was a challenge. I wanted to learn how to make, and this was just drip coffee. This was just a coffee pot on my kitchen counter. And then I mastered that. And then I got into specialty coffee, which is using an espresso machine.
That's where the money at.
Yeah, that's the specialty part of it.
That's
The espresso machine, then you do a pour over. There's different methods to making a good cup of coffee. So it's not just a drip coffee. It's not just what one would consider a mom and pop, or what your grandparents would drink, what our grandparents used to drink, which is drip coffee, either percolator or a coffee pot. So you got pour overs now. You have espresso based beverages. You still got the drip and French press.
Talk that talk. Because, see, I know coffee is the second most consumed beverage in America next to water.
It is.
So I understand from an economic standpoint why you would want to choose coffee, because you got so many customers out there.
And honestly, I didn't know how much of a demand it was until I got into the business. It's very much so high demand.
Is it because of the caffeine?
It's a drug.
It's because of
Legalized
caffeine. And I always say it's also the main ingredient, which is my passion,
There you go.
my love that I put into the cup. So I'm very passionate about coffee.
So how did you break that to your husband when you decided to go come hell or high water? Andy Sunflower doing this coffee thing.
Honestly, when family, and this was in 2018, we were at family's house for a Christmas brunch. And we came over and I bought the coffee bar, literally bought a coffee bar, and made coffee for like 50 family members. And they were amazed. Those that never had my coffee was amazed by what they were drinking. And the talk was, you should start a coffee shop, literally over Christmas brunch, 2018. Talked to him about it the next morning, and asked him, what if I started a coffee shop? 100% support it. But I told him, I was like, I don't want a brick and mortar. I said, I want it to be like I pop up places and pop down and go home. I want to just move around to, connect with different communities and different people. So I contacted my carpenter during the Christmas, New Year break, gave him a concept. He drafted it and started making my coffee cart January of 2019.
Were you working at this time?
I was still working in corporate, still working a 9 to 5. And by that time, I'm dead in it. I'm working 7 days a week.
So you working and doing the coffee at the same time?
I worked and did coffee at the same time.
And what was you doing, Mike, while this was happening?
Helping, because sometimes.
Oh, this was the
yeah, because keep in
my
mind.
manager.
And I'll get to the logistics. I'm a logistics guy. So we would work, but if we had a pop-up, we couldn't keep all that stuff at the house. So, and we didn't have a vehicle large enough to carry that stuff.
Oh,
we were renting U-Hauls.
Every single
going to
week.
the storage place to get the equipment, put it on the U-Haul, go to wherever we got to go, set up, break down, put it back on the U-Haul, take it back to storage, take the U-Haul back.
And that's when y'all saying pop-up. So y'all go to an event.
And
yes, we were hired.
Correct.
We had to set up, and we used a U-Haul truck. So with our farmers markets and our pop-ups, we had to have a U-Haul every week.
And this was at the beginning.
This is at the beginning. So the beginning, every weekend we had a U-Haul.
So how do you determine whether this is going to be a hobby or business? So when she's telling you, baby, God has led me to say that I'm leaving that 9 to 5 and I'm pursuing my passion, and this is the real deal. So how did you decide? I mean, because you know your wife. So you know once you make up her mind whether or not this is a hobby or a legit business.
A hobby is something you do in your free time. It needs to be full time when your job gets in the way. And so when there's enough business to the point where it's like work is in the way, like leave your job. I got the insurance. I got all that other stuff. You go do that. And so it wasn't a hard decision. It really wasn't.
But a true test to myself, and I wanted to make sure that I truly was willing to just sacrifice getting a regular paycheck every 2 weeks or so. I did about 2024 private coffee tastings in our home. I invited it was like every other week. I invited like 4 to 5 people to our home, and I set up our kitchen like a coffee shop. And I offered drip coffee, cold brew, iced tea, and espresso based drinks.
Was you selling it at the house at that time, or
not
just
selling
you was
it
giving
at
it
all.
away for free then?
I was giving it away for free. And at that time, the tastings was for just them to survey what they were having as if they were ordering from their favorite coffee shop and to critique. And during that time, I was timing myself. I was learning new techniques and learning what pairs well with coffee, be it a piece of cake, be it bread or donut or whatever. So each tasting had a different logo. I didn't have a regular logo at the time, so I was still looking for that. So every event had a different logo in front of the table, but every setup had glassware, 4 or 5 percolator of coffees, espresso machine was going, cold brew was steeped overnight. So yeah.
So was it any conditions placed on this for you, Mike, to say, well, baby, we're going to give it 1 month, we're going to give it 90 days, that if we don't see anything, or did you have conditions on yourself to, so that parameter, so you know what, I'm not going to waste your time or mine. Let's give it 12 months. If I don't see certain results, then back to corporate I go.
In the back of my mind, I said that backup would always be, you know what, you can always go out and get a job. But I know me, I don't quit. I love a challenge, and I don't give up too fast on myself. So I organically grew my business. So I wanted to give myself a hug while accepting a big hug from my city. So people are still finding me. So still growing, still learning, still loving what I do. So I'm in it forever.
So when you had to make that decision to say, I'm going to take a leap of faith and go out there and I'm going to leave my job, I'm going to start this business, my husband, we're going to do this together. How hard and how difficult, how long did you battle with yourself before you decided, you know what, this is it?
When my coffee cart was completed in February of 2018, I knew then I got to do it, at least take a chance. So I told Mike that I'm going to work corporate for like 2 more years, continue to save money and to invest it right back into the business. Got my LLC April of 2019, and I was fully in business. So I knew then, and word of mouth, I don't know how, but I started being relevant and staying on Instagram, and people were literally finding me before I even had any clients or anything to show anybody. My sister and brother hired me, so I had some photos from their home and started posting on Instagram. I did a soft grand opening at the Silver Room in Hyde Park for a couple hours, and I offered free lattes for 2 hours. That got my name out, and lo and behold, I started getting corporate people finding me. And that's when Farmers Market came about. Someone saw me giving out free lattes, and she had a connection to the Farmers Market on 95th that I serve at, during the Farmers Market season. And it literally took off from there. Randolph Street Market, I'm their coffee vendor during the vintage market season. And yeah, Ain't She Sweet, the owner of Ain't She Sweet, she found me serving coffee outside.
Because see, when we talk about power couples, we talk about passion, dreams, and most of us fall into that 9-to-5 business model. And so when you break that pattern, and now you're sharing it with your significant, whether it be you sharing your passion with her to go off and do your dream or vice versa, because he's an IT specialist. So was there at any time to where you was going to work or you was afraid of losing that additional income?
Not really, because I structured a house to live under one income anyway, and that's just how I run the house. And so it wasn't a financial hit per se for her to go do that, because I just believe in, if you can, and I'm blessed to be able to make enough where I can do that, to live under one financial salary for whatever reason. And so I didn't have a 50-50. I pay out, it was all on me anyway. So it was kind of like, okay, if one of us can go out and be a true entrepreneur with a vision, with a goal, with a solid business plan, go do that. Because again, guess what? If it didn't work, you go back to work. Okay,
I don't like this, Mike.
there's nothing to
Because
lose.
you know it's a train of thought out there. It's a trend where they saying women. My auntie Jean too. Jean, I know you watching this. My husband pay all the bills. You got to get you a man to pay all the bills. Mike, and then you pay all the bills. Now
you have to do what works for your
I'm
house.
50-50, Mike. My wife, we 50-50. You tell me you paid all the bills so you can preserve.
You have to do what works for your house.
Well, he made
That's
a
his
sacrifice.
investment.
Right.
His
But he was doing
investment
that- he
is
came
in
in
his
the gate
wife.
doing that already, though. He was
Right.
already paying it.
Right. But again, that's just how I'm wired.
Right.
So that's how my daddy was wired. So it's just how I saw everything. So that's just the template I saw.
Right,
It's just the man just takes care of the house.
And ain't nothing wrong with it. Now, Mike, you an IT specialist and you're a professional photographer.
Correct.
So you was doing your thing on the side as well.
Little bit. And so
At that time,
watching her do her business, it was made me go get my business.
Motivation, right.
I was just playing around with the camera.
But you was taking pictures and
I was
everything.
still taking pictures and
Yes.
doing things, but it was watching her, and it was just like, you know what? Why can't I do
I
that?
can help you.
Right. And so if you look on her website, all the pictures are from that's me taking those
Yeah, a lot of
pictures
the
of all the
shots.
product shots and everything. And so I learned it happened a couple ways. From a necessity standpoint of needing product shots, it's like, well, I get this camera, I'll teach myself how to do product photography. So a lot of times,
Sleepless nights.
YouTube, Udemy, all of this stuff. Self-taught, lighting, all that. I taught myself all that stuff. So that way I can have a quality photographer that are doing iPhone shots. Small business got to do what they got to do, but I want her pictures
the iPhone shots.
I want her pictures to stand out. So that's why a lot of people go to her website and like, those pictures are really nice. It's lighting, it's all that other stuff.
So let me ask you this. At what point did you take it serious? You went out and bought a mirrorless camera, a DSLR, and had to learn how to operate that set camera.
Yes.
1,000
And how
cameras
different
later.
was it from just taking pictures from your phone?
Very different. So I'll tell you how I actually got started.
Oh, wow.
I got started with a drone.
The drone. Oh, wow.
And so I was walking down, we were getting off the train one day.
What do you mean? You got started being a photographer with a drone?
Yes, that's how it started.
That's when my story is kind of strange.
There was a drone. Literally, we get off the
We were-
train, and there was a drone over our
It was a
head.
dude flying a drone. And for whatever reason, I got enamored with this thing. Like, we were walking, we got off the 40, we got off the green line of 43rd. It was a guy flying a drone. And I don't know why I got enamored with this thing. So I asked him, what kind of drone is that? And he told me, I was like, all right, bet. I went home, got on the internet, and bought me one. Got
You
home,
studied a little bit.
Studied a little bit. Got home, bought, but within a week I had one. Started flying it, realized, okay, this is a camera with wings.
Exactly.
I don't know nothing about cameras. So that's where my rabbit hole went. And I taught myself videography and photography from there. Got a gig at my old high school because they launched a new football deal They had a whole new football field built. So I hit the AD. I was like, hey, and I used to play with the coach at the time. So we played together. Hit him up. And he was like, yeah, come on and film this. So that was my first film, my first edit. I ain't know nothing about editing, none of that. Taught myself on the fly from there. So that was kind of my first gig, simply because I saw a dude flying a drone, realized the drone is a camera. You need to understand how cameras work. Then I bought myself a real mirrorless camera. So this was early 2018. So I want to say summer 2018 is when I bought my first camera.
And how confused was you?
Big
when
time.
You busted
No clue. No clue what I was doing.
Like, what the hell is
What the
this?
hell was I doing? So what I tell people is, how'd you learn? And I give this website props all day long. It's a site called Udemy, Udemy. They literally have classes for everything.
Yes.
And we talking $20. We're not talking a lot of money. You can take them on your leisure, do whatever you want. So I took a photography class on this site. YouTube is fine, but I tell people, YouTube is good for solving a particular problem. It's not necessarily if you need to know the foundation of something, go take that class. And so you understand why things work the way they work. So once I took that class, I understood photography. Then now you got to get to the camera. And you're like, okay, what does this button do? What does this button do? What does this button do? Or even when you get into photography, which camera do you buy? There's 4 or 5 different manufacturers.
Lenses.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
So there, and so if anybody who's listening who is, wants to be a photographer, first talk to a photographer. Number 2, pick a niche. You can't shoot everything. Because the lens you need for sports is totally different than the lens you need for real estate. It's totally different than the lens you need for portrait. And none of these lenses are cheap. So don't just go out buying stuff. You just think you're going to take pictures of everything. You are not.
So what type of photography
So
do you do?
my primary ones are portrait. So I fall in 3 categories: portrait, product, and photography. So those are the 3 that I'm good at, that I'll stay within my realm. People ask me if I do wedding photography. I can do event photography too. So luckily the lenses that you can do for sports, you can also do for event photography. So I can double up on that. The lenses you can do for portraits, you can do for product. So I can kind of, since I can stay in that pool of lenses, about 4 lenses pretty much gets everything done I need. And I got 2 to 3 camera bodies. I don't do weddings. I just don't bother with that genre because I still have a day job, and you need to be able to allow yourself a lot of time for brides and grooms. And so unfortunately, I don't want to cheat nobody in that. So that's why I don't do wedding photography.
Let me ask y'all this, because I don't want people to miss what each of y'all did. Each one of you did. You self-taught. Both of you are self-taught.
Self-taught, yes.
But it's not happening at an age in which people feel they don't feel that fear of starting something new. So what kind of mindset is it? Because it's almost like a second act. For you, it was a second act.
It is.
But for you, I don't know if you're going to transition all the way where one day they may become your primary.
Because you still working.
Still working. I still got a full-time job. Now, luckily, I'm remote, so I don't have a commute.
But what's the mindset that would have you jump off into this? Well, what kind of mindset do others need to have who are hearing what both y'all did?
For myself, don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah.
But understand the price of failure. And so, what do I mean by that? Don't be afraid to make mistakes, because mistakes will help you learn. However, don't let failure have you out in the corner. So, don't get yourself in anything. Like, I'm not just going to quit my day job to take pictures and then COVID happened and we out, no mortgage, whatever. Like, you still have to know that.
Be smart about it.
You got to be smart about it. But don't be afraid to do things, make mistakes. Because whatever you get into, you're not going to be good at it initially. If I show some of the pictures I took 4 years ago, they god awful. Hot garbage.
And those coffee drinks I used to make were
hot garbage.
Not the best.
Yeah. So you're going to mess up. And that's okay. And so that's the first mindset that you have to have. Second mindset is you got to be willing to learn. And you have to be willing to know what you don't know and be okay not knowing something.
And you was okay with that at your age?
Yes.
We're not, none of us in here.
Yeah. I didn't, full disclosure, I didn't pick up a camera until I was 45 years old.
See, that's why, you see that?
Andy, before then, was you doing any entrepreneurship before you started?
I took a jab at knitting. I did go to fashion school, and my niche was knitwear. So I took a stab at it.
Okay.
And I had a bug before as a kid. I knew probably at 10. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I always wanted to work for myself. I always.
Okay.
Always. So yeah, this was part of my journey.
So let me ask y'all this. In the beginning, when you start your entrepreneurship journey, are you thinking about financial freedom as a power couple and you both entrepreneurs? You like, one day this is gonna get us out the rat race, and we finna hit it big time.
In the beginning, I knew it was gonna be a struggle. I just didn't want to struggle long.
Yeah, I didn't have no delusions about that. Yeah,
I just wanted.
That's why you got your day job. Huh?
That's why I got my day job.
And he allowed me to. I'm free. The freedom comes from Mike being Mike. Allow me to be a sunflower in the wind and do what I love. So that was my freedom.
And my day job allows me to, I hate to use the word real world, but my day job, because I have $1 million budgets that I have to maintain. I got staff and everything.
I thought you were going to say you got $1 million salary. I was like, God damn it.
It ain't far behind, because if he deal with them budgets, he can
So
handle that.
I manage a very, portfolio from an IT perspective. The stuff I have to manage costs a lot of money. So the point is, I understand the grander scale, the macro, and that allows me to kind of, lack of a better word, sniff out nonsense. Well, it's not that, just sniff out nonsense. So when people, and this is why I kind of, tell people, well, I'm an entrepreneur. That's a vague term.
Yes.
What is your business? Entrepreneur is
what do you do?
What do you do?
Yeah.
And again, if y'all want to run around and call yourself entrepreneurs, God bless y'all. But You
It's a
know,
lot
How
of
you
work
pay
that
the
comes
bill?
with it.
what's your primary business?
Right,
And you
right,
can't have 9 of them. Like, what do you do?
Right. What's bringing in the money?
What's bringing in the money,
Yeah.
or what's even your
Or what are
passion,
you working towards?
or what
to
are you
bring in the
working
money?
towards? What's your 5-year plan, your 3-year plan, your 1-year plan, and what's the thing that you're focusing the most on? Because that's the most important. You got 9 businesses, you 10% here, 15% here, 5%
That's
here,
not-
6% here. Yeah, you all over the place. You're not focused on anything. You're staying busy, but
Which
you're
is
not making
good, but
progress.
it's no focus.
You know, I tell people, one of the things I say is, if your goal is to go a mile north, you can spin around in a circle.
Right.
You're moving, but you're not making progress. It's 2 different things.
So let me ask you this then. What about the business side of everything? Is the books, coming up with a business plan initially in the beginning, the money you're spending for the product,
Yep.
opposed to what, the margins and
Yeah.
everything?
Yes.
Y'all on top of that?
Yes,
Yes.
we have accountant. We have an accountant, lawyer. As I call it the dream team. So as a small business owner, we both have a dream team that keeps all of that together.
Okay.
We ain't got time for that.
Because see, I fell into I'm gonna say the love of coffee or being a small entrepreneur. But coffee, I was out there in Houston, near Houston, and they got what they call MLM. What is it? Network
Multi-level market. I've done that in my 20s.
Right,
Yes.
and so they
Yes.
had a product, and it was coffee, but it's called shout out to Organo Gold. They're out there in Houston, but they had it infused with a health property from a Ganoderma mushroom. And so I'm like, really, coffee, because I was doing construction every morning. I'm watching everybody go to the coffee machine, make coffee, but this had a health property to it. So I became familiar with the scale of coffee. So going back to you, that I think I did the research, it said like 54,000 coffee shops are in America.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at the numbers and you're a number guy, did you ever look at that as a reason not to get into it,
No.
or saying that's a reason for me to get into it?
Again, a challenge, and I call that my little black dress rule. You can have the same black dress, wear the same black dress, and it's going to look different on everybody. So I took a leap into a high demand entity or industry, and because my product is coffee, but I'm different from everybody else in a sense of what I put into my business. Everybody's passionate. Everybody have love for their brand, and I'm no different, but I do it in my way, as I consider the best way.
Because the competition is
The
is
competition
thick out
is-
there.
is
It's a lot.
really-
Yes.
There are a lot of coffee shops
It is.
in Chicago, period.
You're right.
So
But
is
across
that
the country.
what led you to the Goldman Sachs? Can we speak about that program with the Goldman Sachs?
Goldman Sachs, we a difficult program to get in. I was truly grateful to be a part of that alumni. But yeah, I finally got in. I tried to get in before and didn't get in, and they called early spring, and I was a little ignorant. I'm thinking at the time things were still Zoom. So I'm like, okay, yeah, this is my chance. I'm like, I can do Goldman Sachs and, take half a day off and, from the coffee shop and like take some class time in the coffee shop. No, it was
Hands on.
in the classroom, 8:30 to 5. And I'm like, darn, I'm in trouble. I don't think I'll be able to do it. But I have a tribe of women that are entrepreneurs in different industries, and they encouraged me. In fact, they told me, you're going to do it, and you're going to finish. And I did. And by the support of my team, my sunflower team, and Mike, every Friday for 3 months.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
And it was often on you, maybe I had to go twice a week. Homework was intense. It was boots on the ground. And I told myself, if I make it to 4 weeks, I'm going to go all the way through. And I did, thank God. It was Goldman Sachs is an accelerated business program that provides mentorship, education, and access to capital for small business owners. I've sat in rooms with people I probably would have never met. Panels of people, professionals I probably would have never been in contact with. So they put you in a really, really good place for your business. So that's a blessing.
I don't want y'all to miss that again. There's another example of keep learning. She didn't stop. She kept learning.
The learning continues. I travel. I go to conferences, Coffee Fest. I'm deep in it.
I want to ask you guys a question pertaining to this information and these statistics. They say, due to the pandemic, it seems to be the main factor in this downward trend. Since becoming more comfortable with brewing, people become more comfortable with brewing their own coffee at home. Nearly 70% of American coffee drinkers say they do not plan on going to the coffee shops anymore. So my question becomes, how do you build a business that attracts customers, because there are so many variables to where the sale of any product since the pandemic is not what it once was?
Well, we do have loyal customers, thank God, that do depend on us to get caffeine at least a couple times a day, because most of them do make their coffee at home, and they should. We sell coffee beans for them to do that. So keeping them coming back is just, I say, always staying present in front of our business and having a good product and being good at what you do. I honestly don't think that any of them would be as loyal if we didn't have something good to offer. So
and she's had a couple of them admit they tried to make some of her stuff at home,
and they were transparent. They
were like, yeah, it tastes.
And they
horrible.
told me it was
it wasn't
back.
Good. Yeah, so,
it wasn't good with them making it at home.
They tried making it at home. And they were like,
and I always just tell them that's why I'm here, and truly that is I'm there. I've taught myself how to make mistakes and learn to make a better product, and I do every day.
Social media helps with?
Social media helps a lot. Like I say, a lot of people are still finding me, and they're supporting, and they come back often, and they send people. So that keeps me going a lot, honestly. Because honestly, I work 7 days a week. I literally work 7 days a week. 8 to 10 hour days, sometimes more. I have to cut myself down sometime, or micro check. Like, did you eat? Did you drink some water? Did you? Yeah, the passion is real.
And that's another segue right there when you're talking about the energy that an entrepreneur needs to run a successful business, or even get it off the ground, or even to get it into the mouths and ears and places where the consumer can actually see the product.
See, find, taste. I mean, I stay creative. Offer tastings like I did. Well, before the pandemic, that was part of my drive into something different, was to do another tasting for customers. I was going to privately invite some customers to the cafe to taste like my next collection of drinks for the season, but the pandemic hit. The pandemic, I did do it once, something small and like a raffle, like win a chance to and bring your bestie to sample our spring beverages. But the pandemic stopped a lot.
No, you did the cold brew contest.
Oh, the cold brew. Yeah,
so you out to tell them about that cold brew contest
in California last August.
Last August, yes.
Yeah, we flew to
August 2022.
See, the years are like, is it 2021?
Right. Is it 2022?
August 2022. We flew to
yes.
Los Angeles to compete in the cold brew competition. We didn't place, but the win for me was getting my small brand on a stage that I thought that I would never be on.
How was that experience?
Amazing. Scary, very scary. Because when I did it, I'm like, dang, I was like, I think we were in the air. And I'm like, we flying to California. I was like, I got to do this now. We bought some of the things we had to buy there, like buying luggage to lug the cold brew. We had to ice it. We had to buy jars to keep it, steeped in a hotel or in a space that they gave us at the arena. So doing it was scary. Finishing it was everything. It was like, if I can do this it was like hundreds of people in my face, strangers. If I can do this, I can do anything.
Okay, let's get technical real quick. Now, how much does it cost to make a cup of coffee?
How much does it cost to make a cup of coffee?
What goes into it?
Oh.
Break it down for us.
If you really think about the process of making coffee, it's nothing. I mean, it's a lot. It's this little bean that's grown. You got to pick it, clean it, process it, wash it, and you really don't get anything out of it.
So let's say in terms of, okay, you selling coffee, you want somebody's coming to buy a cup of coffee from your coffee shop. How much does that cup cost to make, and how much do you sell it for?
It costs about a couple dollars. But what goes in it is me, my process, my labor, me being self-taught.
All of that's put into the price.
And about 75% of our drinks, we use natural products. Real milk chocolate in our mochas, real peanut butter in our lattes. We started using like gourmet marshmallows from a company here in the city. Some of our syrups are made in-house. So all of that goes into.
So you got the cup.
You got the cup.
And what's
you got
the little thing
lid.
that go around the cup? Is that to keep the
lid?
No, not the lid. It's something that was like around the cup. I don't know if it's like to keep your hand from getting hot or something like that.
The sleeve.
The sleeve.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the sleeve, the cup, the lid, the stopper.
Well, you got
stopper.
Some people like to stir.
Okay.
To stir that. And since the pandemic, a lot of that stuff has doubled in price.
I believe everything else is doubled.
And I can still only charge so much for a cup of coffee.
Right.
You
got to be competitive with the Starbucks.
Be competitive, but we've gone places when we were not home out of the state. Did we pay like $10 for a cup of coffee?
Yeah.
Is that average? Because I don't drink coffee.
No, that's not.
It's not average. Nothing. I think the highest price on my menu is 20 ounce, and most coffee shops don't offer 20 ounce iced beverages, and that's $6.50.
Oh, okay.
No more than $7 before tax. And $7, I think the highest is my matcha, because to do a matcha, we do our matchas the traditional way, and we use the highest grade of matcha you can find in the matcha brands. It's a ceremonial.
Give us your favorite drink to make.
My favorite drink, honestly, it's become matcha. Outside of my drink, it's the matcha. People are really, truly falling in love with our matcha. I mean, literally, we have a customer that comes get a double fist cup of matcha.
So what is matcha? Because I'm not familiar.
Matcha is green tea. It's a green tea powder, and it's the brand. The brand that we use is a ceremonial brand, and it's the highest grade. And we whisk our matcha the traditional way, which is adding hot water, and we hand whisk it to get it really smooth.
And
before we pour it, whisk it. It's like a bamboo whisk. You smooth out the green tea powder. It's the traditional way. The Japanese make it.
Right, Japanese.
So if you look at some of their traditions, that was one of them to make their green tea.
And you say tea?
Yeah.
So you mixing the
green tea powder.
It's a green tea powder, and you mix it with water. You mix it, you whisk it with water, and you add it into water or milk. And mainly people that are over our customers will use it, add it to their milk.
You making coffee out of that?
It's a green tea latte. You can add coffee, and that's considered a dirty matcha. If you add coffee on top of it.
That's called a dirty matcha.
Yes.
So you sell tea too?
I do sell tea.
Okay.
We just, one of our most popular teas is our Miracle Ball, and that's our healing tea. It consists of so many health benefits, healthy ingredients. Elderberries, you got lavender, you got ginger, you have turmeric, and we just package them. So now that you can take those home and make them when you need it.
Okay.
Or you can buy it over the counter as well. So.
And you could be hired to come to events. You do that also?
Yes, we can be hired to any event.
Weddings, corporate events.
We got our first 2 weddings was this year,
Yep.
June and July. Yes, and that was one of my dreams, was to do a wedding, and we did 2 this year.
Nice.
So yeah.
I want to talk about the collaboration element of your business model, because the first time I became aware of you was at the Beverly facility that you guys are at. How is collaboration in your business? How important is collaborating with other business owners, other creators like your husband?
It's huge. It's big for in cases with collaborations. I always say everybody win, because you get to learn about someone or something that you've not known about. I did a collaboration with one of our boutiques, Belly Up, in the Beverly area. She has some amazing events in her boutique, and she always hire our card. And she has amazing customers, a big following, and when she has something, I mean, she didn't really have to have anything to have that store crowded, but they really come out. And I've, that's valuable to me. Her customers not knowing me, finding me. So collaborating is major for any small business.
Okay. So, Mike, tell me about the support and everything that you guys have gotten with your businesses. How's that going? Support from your people, your family, friends?
Or lack thereof, or the support.
You go both ways. Photography wise, family has definitely supported me and hired me multiple times. Doing family tomorrow for Christmas shoot. Did cousin Karen's 60th birthday
party. Hey, look, I did Helen and Zeb a Christmas shoot for them a few years ago, and I think Helen wasn't too pleased. She asked Mike right in front of my face. She's like, "Mike, you gonna be available to the Christmas shoot?"
I was like, "Wait, what?"
Because see, you went to YouTube, he went to Digimon. What was that?
You did me.
No, but he's a much better videographer than I am. Like, I know how to video, but I'll stick to taking pictures. That's why I said I'll stick to taking pictures. Lane. Yeah, I stay in my lane.
So tell us about your process with your business model, Mike. Do you because I know being a photographer and coming up through the ranks, it's hard to get the customers, especially to get them to really pay the price that you want them to pay.
It is. And everything's been word of mouth. I also keep my prices simple. It's purely by hour. If you hire me, it's just like, look, it's X amount per hour.
How much an hour?
I'm doing $75 an hour.
$75
an hour, which is very fair.
Very.
And I just keep that real simple. And then when people, they know, okay, I need you for 3 hours, and it's simple math. So it's not a.
You break a contract?
Yes, I still do a contract. So I'll send a quote ahead of time, and I'll just say, $50 locked a date, because I don't need the. Well, all right, let me think about it. You think about it now. I need $50 locked that date. So that's how I operate, to at least lock your date off. I need that deposit of $50, and then the balance due when I deliver the photos. And I'm usually delivering the photos within 5 to 7 days after the event, unless you need them faster, which that's an upcharge. But my business been word of mouth. Family has supported me. And what I found is, if you do a good job, the word of mouth carries. Like, literally every client I've gotten has come from word of mouth. And then Same. I even got into the prom business, and one student sees what you can do. Next student, I got prom next week. Can you? Yes, I can. I'm free that Saturday. They'll pay you on the spot. And so I've had that happen.
So let's talk about marketing and promoting. Andy, how do you market and promote your business?
Social media, Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter.
No paid ads, anything like that?
I'll do a paid ad every now and then. I haven't in a while, because again, like Mike said, a lot of my stuff is word of mouth. 100% of my pop-ups, corporate and otherwise, have been word of mouth. Mike, I've not had to advertise too much about it.
Don't be like me. I am horrible at social media.
Horrible.
Horrible. So I that's the one.
So you ain't promoting like that then.
Right. So that is my, when you have to admit what you're bad at and you have to make a plan to get good at, that is what I'm focusing on the next 6 months you got to get better at Instagram. So, because I'm just not a social media guy in my personal life. So it just translates to my business.
But for business, that's vital.
Exactly. And there you go. And so I've been lucky that people find me and know I got good work. But if you looked at my social media page, you'd be like, this dude ain't doing nothing. But I got tons of work that if I literally could probably upload for every day for the next 6 months of all the stuff I got sitting on my PC at home. So, I like I said, I say that as a cautionary of don't be like me. I'm doing okay without doing what I need to do, but that ain't the right thing. I know to keep growing, I have to get better. So I've already called myself on that, and I'm gonna make that change. That's why, if you look at my page now, you'll see the sports stuff that I'm doing, because I'm shooting basketball. So it's basketball season. I'm posting my basketball games now. And so, like I said, just knowing I got to get better at that. But yes, social media is very crucial. My followers probably jumped up in the 20, because when I started shooting these basketball games, I started getting DMs from players. Hey man, you got a picture of me? Because
they all want pictures in
number 10, and then number 14 will show up in your DM. Hey man, you got a picture of me? Yeah, I actually do got a picture of you. So literally the students started finding me fast like that. And so that was kind of the, I do need to get better at this, promoting stuff and tagging them and using the hashtags and all of that, because those kids, when they see their buddy, you caught them dunking, they want you catching them shooting that 3. as well. So, yeah.
I took some pictures. I tried, dip my hand in photography. But what I like to do, I like to just take pictures when people don't know I'm really taking them.
Right. So you're more of that street, that kind of street photography.
And I like to take pictures, like a deep emotional picture. When you look at it, you be like, it move you or something.
Right.
I tried the portrait.
Tells a story.
Yeah, it tells a story. I don't like the portrait. Yeah, I don't like the way you made my skin look. Well, that's how your skin look when you walk in.
Yeah, and so now you're getting, but and you so yes, you are getting into. You're absolutely right. When you get into portrait photography, you also, and this is on the editing side, you basically have to be a makeup artist as well. And where I'm getting at is like, I'll do teenagers. First thing I'm doing is cleaning up those zits. I've done high school headshots. I worked with a high school last year. I did up there with 120 seniors. You got to clean them zits up. God bless the ladies. They get the synthetic hair. I got to clean that up in post because, you put that flash on that, you don't know it, but them hairs is all over the place.
You do a lot of burning and dodging and all that kind of stuff.
Yes. So you got to sit there and draw them hairs out because I can't send an 8x10 print with your hair sticking up in the background. Like I said, you can't see it with the naked eye, but when you pop that flash on it, you see it. And so, you have to learn, if they got zits or if they have discoloration in certain parts, and they kids, it is what it is.
Right.
You got to clean that up. They got the little taco meat on the forehead. You got to clean that up. And so you can't have the babies out there with taco meat, but you got to clean it up. And it just is, but you have to. And so those are the things you learn that you're like, oh, okay. If you start studying other photographers, you kind of go, okay, I see how they, blended the skin in right here. And they literally have tutorials on how it's digital makeup in a sense. If I want to even out your skin tone.
Oh yeah, you can make somebody look like they ain't had they can have a face full of zits. And when you get done with it, look like they had the smoothest skin in the world.
And same with, and then body, so I tell people, if I can do so much. And even when you're trying to slim people down, you're also almost being a tailor. Because if you have to slim the body down, that's fine if they have a plain shirt like this. But Lord have mercy if you have a zipper. Because if I got to tuck your stomach in, I also got to straighten that zipper out. Now.
Oh my God.
I got to straighten out the hemline. If it's a pocket right here. Because once you start digitizing certain things, lines still are lines. And so now you're sitting there, inch by inch, dragging in the little hem right here, dragging in the zipper. So if you got a zipper that bows out right here because of your stomach, that's fine. But if you want me to slim that down, now I got to bring that zipper in. I got to straighten it all the way out.
Now that's more work in the edit.
There you go. So photography, my point is photography is the shooting, but then it's learning how from a PC standpoint or, editing standpoint to make it look better. There's certain things, if you wear eyeglasses, sometimes you pop that flash and you're sitting there with this big old white circle in somebody's glass. You didn't do it right. And when you're shooting it, now you got to sit there and fix that in post. So, you got to know. And these are things you learn as you do. And this goes back to what I was saying about YouTube. That's when you go to YouTube for how to remove glare out of somebody's glass.
This is why you get paid for what you do. So to both of you, my question is to both of you. Mm-hmm. And I know in trucking, starting a trucking business is very competitive. Mm-hmm. And being a black man in any business to where people might not want to pay you your value. Mm-hmm. So how do you get over those hurdles? Or how did you, especially as being a black female in business and you for yourself, how did you get over those hurdles of people not placing the right value or understanding on what you bring to the table with your product and your profession?
I always explain what I do. I always explain, and I've learned, I always say there's a 2019 Andy and a 2023 Andy. The 2019 Andy, I was taking everything. I was devalued a lot, but I just wanted to get out there. But I've learned a lot. I've been a lot of places, and I've said no a lot. I've learned to say no a lot. People still devalue my work. They know it's good. They tell me it's good based on the referral, and they still don't want to pay me.
Do you find that people just by nature are just hateful, just don't want to, even like you said, they know it's good, and
I wouldn't say hateful.
Yeah.
They
don't want to see you doing it.
They want me to do it, but they don't want to pay for it.
Right.
If you was white, would they pay for it? If you was Asian, would they pay for it?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I think because I'm small, people take the shared space and the coffee cart as a little small business. My business is very mighty.
That's why they should pay for it.
And I've been told. Actually, we were at a pop-up, and I think it was a cold brew. And I told her the price, and I think it was like $4 and some change, and she was really, really insulted. She was very upset.
Why?
That it was $4 and some change. And she told me that my price was it's just as high as this
She
other
thought it was
coffee shop.
overpriced.
Yeah.
She thought it was overpriced.
Yeah.
So she had $2 in her hand. I stood my ground and I told her that it was, $4 and some change. She went back to her booth because we were at a pop-up. And she came back and she apologized. She was like, this is probably the best cold brew I've ever had. And she gave me the remainder of my money. I think I get devalued because of the size of my business. But when people taste my product, they're absolutely amazed. We've been told that we should increase our prices.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is this only $3?
As your espresso shots.
Why is?
Yeah,
I mean, I had a guy come into a cafe. He was visiting from, I think, Colombia. He had 3 macchiatos, traditional macchiatos, back to back, and that's 2 shots with just a dollop of milk. He was like, "Your espresso shots are perfect." He's like, "They taste just like I'm at home. Like there's no different from home." So it's stuff like that keeps me grounded.
Okay,
and,
so
and,
why
and,
is
and,
it
and
that
lets me
price?
know, it confirms that I'm doing something right.
So why is it the price you charge? And you say they say you should charge more. What determines your price?
What determines the price is the product itself and the time it takes to make it.
I want you to answer that question, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel color plays a part on how people value your business or your expertise and your talent or your product?
I have not run into that because I would say 90% of my clients they look like me. So I haven't run into that. I think in the photography game, this is the problem because everybody got a camera in their pocket. And so they think that they could be a photographer, and it's not until they see the difference between iPhone picture and my picture with lighting and all of that, they realize, oh, there is a difference.
They don't appreciate until they see it.
Until they see
think they
it.
can pull out their phone and just
Correct.
go to work.
And technically, you can. You can. The phone takes great pictures. There's nothing wrong with that camera in your phone. But if you standing in front of a tree and you got a tree sticking out the top of your head, you're not gonna think about that as I am. Or I could walk down the street and be like, I'm gonna put you right here because I like the way the lights is casting off this building. Those are things you're not gonna think about. And so it's the composition, or like I said, the fact that I got lighting so I can light you so you get to catch lights in your eyes. That's not stuff you even thinking about. And so people, when they see magazines and they see their stars and they stuff like that, that's a professional photographer that took those pictures. So when you see that little glint in the middle of that person's eyeball, that's a flash popping. I can look at a picture and tell you how many lights that person they put. I can tell if they backlit their hair or not. Because I can sit there and see, oh, there's a rim light on your head. Yeah, that was a light over there. That was light. I can look at the picture and tell you all of that. This is kind of where people set their price because they're like, I can take them pictures. And I'll be like, technically, you are 100% correct.
Because everybody thinks they take good pictures, don't they?
Right. And that's what I said. That's why I don't argue. Because I will sit there and tell them.
They're a photographer.
Right. And I will sit there and tell them, you are 100% correct. You can take that. And if you don't have the money, then do that. But if you see your favorite star, you want your pictures to look like that, you're going to have to pay. And this is the price is the price.
The expectations.
Right. The price is the price. And so once you kind of have that conversation, folks get it. The same thing is time is the other part of it. It's they think you can just take them pictures and okay, you took me, or time and quantity of pictures. I've done photo shoots and it's like, well, what happened to the rest of the photos? It's like I may have took 600 pictures. You don't want to see all them 600
pictures. Can you send me all of the pictures?
Right. And I'm like, I can. Them 50 or 60 are the good ones. You was blinking on these, or you took picture 3 and the 17-year-old is too busy looking to the right because teenagers, God bless them, they just can't stay focused. So I got the eyeballs over here when they supposed to be over here. So it's like I can give you those pictures, you don't want them.
Tell them you're going to charge them. It's an upcharge for something like that.
You can have them. I tell you can have them, but when you go through them, you're going to be like, oh, okay. And you probably had it with video where people think they want the
all
raw,
the files.
they want the raw video, and it's like, yeah.
Like, for what? What you going to do? There ain't no color correction on
them?
them?
No color. Or when I forgot to turn the camera off and it's sitting on the floor and I'm videotaping the wall. Yeah, you want that? You want 15 minutes of that?
You know how large these files are?
They don't get it.
You want me to go get a hard drive for you?
They don't get it. And so you understand, you probably got those same conversations. So
I say what I say. They say the black dollar circulates in the black community 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you get your check, you take your money, and you go right over there within 6 hours, but it's not to another black business. So I wouldn't necessarily go to Andy's Sunflower Cafe with my money. That way it can circulate to her. Now the pictures that she needs to buy, the stuff, she give it to you, although your husband, another black business, and it circulates that way. That's why I'm under the belief we don't see enough of us doing what we do to where now it becomes familiar and I'm willing to pay you your premium price. That's why it's easy for me to devalue you, because I see so many other races doing it. I've grown to trust them and not trust your coffee thinking that the white coffee is cold or tastes better. So even at a price point of $3, oh, that's too much. You black, you can't be charging that.
And you are hitting on some,
and
you're hitting on some very important aspects. And so that's why as business owners and both of us, we go the extra mile to be good because we know we'll run up against that. And so I challenge any business owners is don't take shortcuts. Don't be lazy.
Absolutely not.
Like you got to do the extra. You got to do the extra homework. If you get negative feedback,
fix it.
Take it to heart and really listen to what that person said. Now, if it's just some old, it didn't taste good. Well, what was wrong with it? I don't know. I just didn't like it. I can't do nothing with that. Or, I ain't like the pictures. What didn't you like about it? I don't know. Okay. I can't do nothing with that because that's not anything correctable. Did you look fat? Did you not like the composition? I don't know. No problem. But if it's something about, oh, well, you know what? It seemed like the picture was too dark. Okay, that's something I can do about that. I can fix that. Or I looked a little plump. Not a problem. We can fix that. But as a business owner, you can't be too sensitive. You really have to listen to the feedback that you get. And if it's truly you know what? I can see where they're coming from. That if I put myself in their shoes, let me fix that. But also before you even have complaints, sometimes you have to put yourself, if I was paying for this, what would I want? Would I want a half full cup or, a nasty attitude or, if my daughter's taking these pictures, I don't want her zits on here. I don't want flyaway hair. So, she laughs at me when I'm sitting there editing pictures like, you are literally going in. I'm like, yes, because
his editor.
If my daughter was sitting up here, this is the same thing I want somebody to do. And so therefore you have to, as a business person, sometimes put yourself in the seat of that customer.
Always.
Now, is every customer going to appreciate that? No. But you feel good when somebody does appreciate it. Yes. And they keep coming back. And they like, man, you cold. Like, or, you knock this out the park. Or to keep, when even the students I do the sports talk, when they hit me back in the DMs, fire. That means a lot because that's the fuel because a 14-year-old told me he loved my pictures, and it's just,
it can be very hard.
Okay, and you say it can be hard. Speak on some of the challenges.
It can just be hard just to not be seen, to be talented and not be seen in a sense. So to get that type of feedback, to get people coming back and loving, doubting you, and coming back and like, wow, this was amazing. I get that a lot. Yeah. But my thing is, I just do what I know.
Was there any gatekeepers that you had to overcome, and was there any like red tape or?
No red tape. It's just people that just doubted my product. People would leave. I've had customers leave out the door, come back, and throw me a heart or a kiss or just, oh my God. Just a lot of people just see me as a small, but once I craft my beverages, I get a lot of pats on the back.
So what's next?
Oh, what's next? Oh my God. Currently, I am working on my brick and mortar. That's what's next. That's the big girl. The big girl.
Brick and mortar. Because currently you in?
I'm in shared spaces. And Ain't She Sweet and Taste 222.
So 2 different locations?
2 different locations during the week. no weekends for the West Loop location. But I never wanted a brick and mortar. But
Going to that point.
the longer I've been in business, the more creative I've gotten. And space is what I need. The bigger space doesn't mean you're gonna make bigger money or more people will come, but you got to take a risk.
Right, because you outgrowing the space you at now.
Yeah, outgrowing a space.
And if you want to continue to grow,
exactly.
Mike, what's next?
What's next for me is keep going with sports. I love sports photography, like love it. So keep shooting high school. My dream is D1 and pro. So if I sit on the sideline of a program, you're gonna be smiling. I'm gonna be smiling ear to ear.
One day, very soon.
From a profitable standpoint, I mentioned earlier I don't want to be wedding photography. I should have clarified that. I don't want to be a primary wedding photographer. And what does that mean? That means you work with me to come and do everything. There's a market called second shooters. I do want to get in that market, which basically is a wedding photographer. If you ever see a wedding, especially bigger weddings, there's multiple photographers there. The second shooters are there to assist the primary photographer. But what's beautiful about it is at the end of the wedding, they hand them video, they hand them the card, and they're gone.
They ain't responsible.
They ain't got to edit. They don't want to do that. I want to be that person. So,
but get paid the same.
You get paid. You don't. The lead photographer get paid, and they should, because they got to do. They got so much work to do. It's right, and so they deserve the bulk of the money. Period. That's why I don't want to get into that, because again, since I got a day job, I don't have time to give a client that. I can be there 48 hours on a Saturday, take them pictures and hand you the video card, and I'm out. So that's what I want to do, which, as we talked about earlier, the social media aspect, a lot of those second shooter jobs have gotten off Facebook and all that. So I'm right now curating my Facebook profile to start getting into that. Same way with sports photography. A lot of way you get these media passes and all that, people start seeing your work and then go, hey, well, we got this event, this basketball tournament, we need photographers, things like that. And so those Facebook groups and things like that become important in getting to know folks and those.
Absolutely. To
get either in the second shooter market as well as in the sports photography.
So, Sister Andy, is there any fun facts that people don't know about you?
Probably they do. I love plants. Outside of coffee, I love playing in plants. I have a greenhouse on our property that he allowed me to build. I have a greenhouse, a green room in our basement. I turned it into a greenhouse, humidifiers, grow lights, shelving, all that good stuff.
You got weed in there?
No, all house plants. Only
regular plants.
Is this thing on? Only house plants.
Only house plants. Okay. You say green.
You're right.
Only house plants, people.
Disclaimer: she ain't doing none of that.
And that's actually a fun fact as well. I'm going to my next journey is to incorporate my plants and my coffee and my brick and mortar.
Online. I seen that.
Yes, that's my plan. So
okay.
So yeah.
Hey Mike, man, we heard some about you are a first degree black belt in Taekwondo.
So yes, that is true. I got it in 2010. Actually started because my daughter was high energy and I needed something to do with her, and so I put her in martial arts. And since I was sitting there, I was like, well, I'm sitting here anyway. The adult class was after the kids class, so I was like, fine, I might as well do it myself. End up falling in love with it. So that's one thing about me. If I get into something, I get into it. And so about 2.5 years, and I was actually a dual student. I did Taekwondo and Hapkido. So one's more offensive, one's more defensive, like I said. And so had to stop because then I got a job where I traveled a lot. And so that was a problem for tests and all of that. But I think I may get back now that I'm back at a job that I don't have to travel. That is something I want to get back into.
So is your hands registered as a lethal weapon?
Yes.
Yeah. Don't be modest, man. Don't be modest.
He's very quiet.
Yeah,
we saw the video, Mike.
Cause see,
there's footage.
that's what surprised me, but motivated me when I got that footage. Cause I've met him on other occasions. You don't think I'll whoop your ass? And me and Bud was talking like, cause you so quiet. Now when you let that beast out, I can see you yelling, I didn't mean to do this to you, man, but you had me.
Watch the pivot.
See the pivot. So
if he pivots, you're in trouble.
Yeah, and I've taught her that because I've taught, I've done.
You got into some occasions, some altercations where you have to.
Yeah, she'll know if you're a fighter, your feet are everything. And so I even taught her that if you see me shift my weight,
step back. I can take
something's about to happen, and so it's it's a. And I even talked. I said, if you watch fight videos on the internet now, like you can kind of tell who's gonna win or not. Watch their feet.
Well, let me ask you this. Man, Bud was joking. I was joking with Bud. I said, man, if Mike can take his foot from the ground and plant it on your jaw and knock you out, can you take your feet and knock a nigga out in his jaw?
I can eat the stretch. I'm not good, but if I had to,
You're like, hold on, let me stretch first.
right? But no. I used to be able to kick 7 feet. Now I can kick my eye level, just raw.
See, that's what I'm saying.
So I can kick, dude 6 foot, I can kick him in the chin, just no straight knives. I'm gonna pay for it later.
Right. But you can get,
but
if you want to embarrass him like that, you can get that off.
But if I did want to embarrass him, I can kick you now. I'm not doing tornado kicks and all that like I used to be able to do. But I can front snap you in the face before you even know what happens. But the flip side to it is I'm older now. I'm 50. I would more lean to the more defensive, the more defensive redirection stuff. So, and I've had to use it in a real life situation.
Steven Seagal style.
And so that's a good. So Aikido, which was Steven Seagal, that's the Japanese version. So Aikido and Hapkido. Aikido is the Japanese. Hapkido is the South Korean. They're very similar. Arm locks, arm breaks, arm throws, body redirection, circular movement. So
you didn't know? I took a class.
Yeah. So that's the Japanese version.
Yeah, I seen that. But this is what I want to warn people. I said, if you go into Andy Sunflower's Cafe and they tell you $3 and you see Mike standing there, you want to argue about this price point. Understand there's a possible ass whooping gonna come with this interaction. So just buy the coffee and go on your way, man.
And compliment.
Get the coffee. And
don't say that.
As you can tell, I'm super chill. I don't.
Very chill.
What else you got?
We both
Andy?
are.
Andy, let's talk about the next time we gonna see you, because now she officially, I'm gonna share this. I wasn't gonna say it. The next time I see you, she's officially the coffee sponsor of Survival of the Fittest. You want to let the people know that we officially connected with Andy Sunflower Cafe and Survival of the Fittest? We collaborate.
We're gonna collaborate. I like collaborations.
Y'all see that now.
I do like a good collaboration.
So anytime you see me drinking a caffeinated beverage, coffee, know that it's
with the sleeve, the stamp
sleeve.
sleeve.
We need those too.
We got some custom.
We got some stuff for you.
Okay, we need that.
We got some custom mugs. They're in the air now.
Yes.
See that?
So custom mug coming your way.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Anything else y'all want to let the people know before we get out of here that we might have missed?
You know what? You touched on work-life balance really quick.
Yeah.
When I was working corporate and Andy Sunflower Cafe at the same time, when I was hired out, I would take a vacation day to go work my mobile coffee cart and drag him too. I would ask him if he could take a vacation day and help me move his cart because, Facebook or T-Mobile needs me or whatever. And once my vacation days exceeded the mobile cart pop-up request, I knew that it was time to go. I gave myself 2 years, but it was actually 6 months. After starting my job, I quit corporate. So, 6 months.
But talk about the power of love. Because this is that love that a lot of people hope for, dream for, pray for. They applaud for, but they never find it. Talk about what y'all
Definitely
got.
I pray for it. I always do a hashtag. I prayed for him. I really did. So, I don't know. We were just a perfect match.
Yeah. You don't always have to be right. I think sometimes people worry too much about being right instead of just communicating the differences.
That's me. I got to be right.
Yeah, and I tell people, and I got to say it, the cemetery and jails is full of people who thought they was right. You know what I mean? Like seriously, the cemetery is full of people who's right. And you got to see past being right. It's a matter of, okay, but if I get in this argument, is being right the end game? No. And is it going to be the end result? Because if you argue with some knucklehead on the street, you may be right, but if they willing to take it to a place, it don't matter if you was right or not, because they willing to take it to a place.
Mike, I watch too much YouTube, man. I've been looking at all the videos about feminism, and I'll be like, hell no.
Yeah, so
I'm the king around here.
My God.
And I dabble in some of that too, but where you have to have is a healthy balance of what's your rightful place as the man and what you're supposed to be doing. You do what you're supposed to be doing. Everything else falls.
Y'all got to understand the man-woman
100%.
relationship and marriage.
Yeah. Yes.
That's
100%.
dope, man.
But am I coming home? Woman, make me some no.
I don't even cook.
Right.
Mike
Woman,
cooks.
no. So
I make coffee. That's all I do.
You understand
Literally.
what works for y'all.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And that's why I tell people, if 50-50 works for y'all, do 50-50. Don't worry about what other folks got going on. Even with the power couple thing. Yeah, people call us that, but it's not like we went up, hey, I want to be a power couple. No, that wasn't even nothing.
It's so natural.
She had a passion. I had a passion. That's just
and
how
we
we're
help
wired.
grow it.
And that's all it is. And so when we help, we assist each other.
Yeah, you didn't tell me. I assist on a lot of your events too.
That's what I was about to
carry
say.
his
I was
lights.
literally so she talked about.
I drag his lights around. As well.
When I do photo shoots, especially with ladies, she catches things that I'm not seeing.
Because I learned how he edits. He edits. Oh my God, his editing is next level.
Right.
So I know what he looks for to help take down is not, keep your editing to a minimum. So I'll know if that shirt is wrinkled, fix it, flatten out that crease because he's gonna have to fix it. So I assist him as well.
So when the relationship book come out, y'all gonna release it right here on Survival of the Fittest because y'all should do a relationship book.
You know what it's gonna be called? Healthy respect.
Healthy respect.
That's exactly right.
We're gonna
Put it in
produce
the
it
universe.
for y'all.
Yeah. I was gonna say because we're gonna collaborate, another collaboration.
We're gonna have a couch.
Distribute it and everything.
Yeah.
Healthy respect.
The documentary version of it. Yeah.
And it's also just knowing how to communicate and knowing how to disagree without being disagreeable or
Getting offended.
Yeah. And where I get into being right or getting the last word in. Sometimes walking away, if you and she knows this about me. Sometimes I'll just get quiet.
Yeah.
And she knows because I don't want to say the wrong thing.
So he does say nothing.
So I'll say nothing. And because you can't take
it back.
Can't take it back. If you say it, you can't take it back. So I'd rather just shut up. Like if I'm my mind going.
Okay, so before we wrap this up, we usually do final thoughts, but I want to do a little something different. We're gonna do final thoughts, but I want y'all to put your final thoughts in terms of how would you advise somebody to get into the field that you guys are in, including you, Lucky, with the podcasting and everything. So Mike, you can go, and then we just go around.
Final thoughts. If you want to get into photography, number one, find somebody who's already in it. Get a mentor. This is the first thing. Get
Absolutely.
a mentor. Photography is expensive. It can get even more expensive, but you also have to realize that, like I said earlier, this thing takes great pictures. So if this is all you can afford, learn it, take it out of auto mode, learn how to manually shoot. And if you know how to manually shoot, which means you have to control the exposure and the lighting, you'll go a long way. So the day you can afford a higher end camera, you already know 90% of how photography works. But like I said, find a mentor, understand how photography works itself, meaning how lighting works, all those things. Once you got that, the rest of it takes care of itself.
Okay, Andy.
I agree with Mike. Definitely find a mentor. And when you find a mentor, I would hope that you're passionate about what you're getting into. And if it's coffee, be passionate about coming to another coffee shop owner, asking and to learn about coffee, because it's not as easy as one would think. Learn the craft, learn how to process and brew coffee with every method. There's lots of methods in making coffee. You should know how to do all of them. I've burned coffee. I've wasted a lot of money on beans, a lot of money on different brewing methods. Some worked best, some looked better, some were heavier, some or whatever. So there's going to be some sacrifice in money and waste, because I wasted a lot of beans. And being self-taught, it's many times I wanted to push my espresso machine off the counter, because learning how to extract a good espresso shot didn't come easy. Learning how to grind the bean has to be fine enough. Every bean grinds differently. Some beans taste better with different waters. It's a science to coffee. And if you are passionate about it, I would say contact someone that you like or someone that inspires you and ask. But be serious, because we don't have time.
What I want to say, I'm a truck driver by trade, so I use that to pay for everything that I want to do. But speaking in general, as far as podcasting, I have a passion for people. I have a passion for the backstory. I have a passion for the struggle of people who overcome things. So for me, if you want to be a podcaster, if you don't have passion for people, whether they got 1,000 followers to 1,000,000 followers, then this is not for you. So I sit here and I get inspired when I hear your story and the challenges and things you're overcoming, to trust your spouse. Hey, baby, I want to jump out. I want to do this, and I need you to have my back.
Absolutely.
And even if it's not something he might believe in or she might believe in, but they do it together. So getting to the bottom line of that and getting that story out, I love that shit. You know what I mean? I love it because
I love stories too.
That's
I love
my
backstories.
mentorship. This is the form of mentorship for me. Hearing y'all's
Absolutely.
story now, I believe I can do it. So if you want to get into podcasting, you got to start with having a passion for other people outside of yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, that's it for me. Just have a passion for people, and in particular, our people.
And I'll add one more thing, and I think we can all say that you cannot be scared of the work.
Yeah.
And you cannot be scared of the work, and you cannot be scared of the grind. We have a saying that we say to each other: the grind
is not kind.
Like it's not. It literally. So if anybody, you're not gonna make fast money. You're not gonna blow up overnight. Like just.
And if you're trying to get a lot of sleep.
Yeah.
I was gonna go there earlier when you spoke about that. Yeah.
Right. So
7 days a week.
You think
7 days. There's no such thing as 8-hour days. There's
Right.
no such thing as 5 days,
No.
and I'm off on the weekends. No.
So if you want to sit there and think you're about to do this, and a month later you're gonna blow up, no.
You're not buying that Maserati in next month. No, absolutely.
Okay. So I'm gonna say my little piece, Lucky, then you can close us out. In terms of like being a videographer, it is a hard field to go down. Learning camera work, learning lighting, composition, exposure, and all of those different things. But if you really got the passion, like everybody was saying, it's not considered something that I would say that you would look at as going to work and you don't like your job. If you love it, you're gonna pursue it. And it's all these different avenues out here to learn these different traits that you need to have to make your dream work. So that's what I would say. You know, be willing to make the sacrifices that you have to make to be able to go down that road to make your passion come to life.
You definitely made a sacrifice, because all of these cameras we're surrounded
Right.
by and lights, that's
the crowd can't
pretty
see,
dope.
The audience can't see all the stuff.
No, because he's
behind the
still
scenes.
gonna go edit. He's gonna still do
Oh,
all
yeah,
the
this
other
is just the
stuff. This is
beginning.
one. Yeah,
This is just the beginning.
He's a one-man wrecking crew.
Yep.
This is
You
amazing.
know, and I want to thank you guys for coming out, taking your time out of your day to come share your story.
Absolutely.
And your
Thanks for
struggle and
having
triumph
us.
with us here at Survival of the Fittest. So you squares, this is a product for the people, by the people, and where dreams go further than bullets. We out of here.
Luxury Productions.